We're waiting for your calls at 969-KTRS, star KTRS from your cell phones, or 1-888-550-KTRS. Let's get back to Joan. Again, Joan, just a quickie. She's 64 and single. She works here locally for university. Doesn't happen to have a pension, but she has about $600,000 of assets. And Aaron, as you were saying,
she really enjoys her work, and she'd like to continue to work for 2 more years. So she enjoys it, but she's ready. She sees the light at the end of the tunnel. She'll be 66 in 2 years. So that's where she'd like to retire, but she's thinking that, hey, we might have to push it to 70.
Right, and, for her, in her case, she's in the baby boomer generation. Her normal retirement age is 66. Going to at least 65 takes care of any issue about health insurance, because then she could become eligible for Medicare,
right,
if she was to leave. But otherwise, she really had 3 primary questions she asked us, didn't she?
That's right. The first one being, can we get to my real goal, which is can I retire at 66 as opposed to having to push it to 70?
Right.
The second one is, should I take my Social Security benefits at 66 or wait until 70? And also with that, can I even afford to wait until 70? Which is a good question, because everyone know, or most people know, that your Social Security benefits increase 8% year over year, but the majority of individuals take their Social Security benefits long before 70, and the reason for that is they need the money.
Right.
So Joan wanted to know if she was someone that needed the money before 70. And then the last question is, I don't have long-term care insurance. Is this something I need to consider?
And these are all common questions that were asked during coaching sessions. The nice part is that in Joan's case, as in others, we have this beautiful 6 by 8 foot electronic whiteboard, and we make a picture out of it, right?
That's right. We take your numbers and your situation and put it up on the board for you.
Right. So let's kind of talk about Joan and what our discussions were with her. The first thing we did was we tried to determine how much Joan was currently earning today. We found that her net pay today, after making all the contributions, deductions, etc., was about $3,100 per month. And she also was consuming all of that each month, like a lot of folks do, right?
That's right. So that's probably the easiest way to figure out how much it takes to make your lifestyle work is what are you bringing home every month? Are you making any other savings? So are you taking some of that and putting it into a savings account, or maybe do you have an after-tax investment account that you're making contributions to? And at the end of the year, how much is that additional savings? So you can subtract that out. And
sometimes they hide the money, right?
That's right. Or sometimes they hide it only for a short amount of time, and then it's consumed in that year anyway. So if you think about all of those things and then say, okay, my net pay is, in Joan's case, it was $3,100, but she also told us that her checking account isn't growing or depleting, it's staying the same, which tells us she's consuming all $3,100 every month.
Right, and so, again, that's how we start our analysis. How much you're spending, because we know that folks, to a person, has told us they want to maintain the same lifestyle they had the day after they retired as the day they had before they retired. So, again, we said, okay, $3,100 a month. Since that's an after-tax number, we have to gross it up for federal and state taxes, because she does live in Missouri.
Right. Well, hey, aren't times changing over in Illinois? I heard they're increasing income taxes.
Well, they are, but they still haven't decided to tax pensions or other retirement distributions. That's going to be on the way. It has to
be. Phase 2.
So it's sort of like what they did with Social Security. They put in the first brackets, and then what they did, it never was taxed, and now, again, over time, they've been increasing the rates of taxes. But in her case, again, $3,100 per month is what she is. That's her target number. We're obviously increasing that by 20% up to $3,700 a month.
For taxes, exactly.
Right. Now, we then looked at what's her Social Security benefit will be at her normal retirement age of 66, and that was $2,100. So she did have a monthly income deficit, right?
That's right. So she needs about $1,600 a month to maintain that $3,700 a month that she needs.
Right.
Yep.
And so annually,
that's $21,600.
So, what we do is, at that point, then the question is, do I have sufficient capital so that what I can do is draw a prudent amount out each year, percentage rate, if you want to think of interest, or as most people think, living off the interest if you can. We use a prudent withdrawal rate of 4%. So in that case, taking $21,600, dividing that by 4%, it tells us that she would require about $525,000 of capital. Now, the cool part about this, again, is that in our analysis that we previously did, we assumed that all of the income that she would be receiving would be fully taxable.
But in her case, which is a little bit rarer for most of our clients, is that she's very close to a 50-50 split of taxable and non-taxable assets.
But in either case, she had, as we said, she had currently $600,000 of assets, so she was in Rockstarville.
That's right.
Not deep into Rockstarville, but she
also had some cushion, though, which is nice.
Which is really nice as a cushion. And then, Aaron, at the point you were making is, to make this more tax efficient and effective for her, we could then design a cash flow from pre-retirement asset or post-retirement assets as well as retirement assets, which really get our total number down.
Right.
And that means that she would, in theory, have a bigger cushion at that particular point. So that's really the analysis. And I would say that 70% of the folks, 80% of the folks that come to visit with us, they've already kind of figured the math out.
That's right. So the cool thing is that to answer Joan's first question, can I retire at 66? According to the math, it looks like she should absolutely be able to do that.
Yes, and we also, in terms of cushion, we hadn't even incorporated the fact that Joan was going to work for a couple more years.
Exactly.
We haven't assumed any rate of growth on her assets whatsoever or her contributions. So she should be building a bigger and larger cushion, which is good for her, right?
Exactly, because she's going to continue for the next 2 years to contribute to that 403B as she's continuing to work, and her employer, the university, will continue to contribute as well. So that number, even assuming no growth, will continue to rise because of the contributions. Hopefully will continue to rise.
Yeah, the one thing that we didn't mention about Joan, and I'm sure there are folks that are out there listening today going, $3,100 a month, $3,700, that's not that much money.
Right. Oh, she doesn't have a mortgage, does she?
Joan doesn't have a mortgage. She's already paid for it. So we believe that it's important, especially if you're in a position, and for many of our clients, especially the folks that come to visit with us before they become clients, they're within 5 years or so, their key and pivotal, one of the core questions are, should I pay off my mortgage? Should it be paid off? So I haven't written this down on paper, so we're going to kind of do this in our heads, but let's just assume that Joan had a mortgage in her situation. And let's say for fun that it was that her current payment was running $1,000 a month.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about taxes and insurance. I'm really talking about just the mortgage payment itself.
Okay.
So over 12 months, that would be $12,000.
Right.
Now, conceptually, I like to think everybody has their own personal math. You know, we found that in our coaching sessions with clients. And what I mean by that is, you know, most folks are paid twice a month. The first month's paycheck goes to pay X things. The second month's paycheck goes to pay Y. Those people that are financially successful, they never run over, right? They're never deficit spending. They're living within their means, which obviously Joan was doing as well. But if we use this concept of having capital that is throwing off and we're withdrawing a prudent rate of interest from it each year, the question is, how much of an asset do we need to have to support that $1,000 a month?
She needs payments, at least $300,000.
Right. So
more.
Think about that. Now, in Joan's particular case, her mortgage right now was running at approximately $85,000. She'd really paid it off, or if she had a mortgage, let's even say it was $100,000 for fun.
Right.
For us to say, okay, can we grow over a short period of time, let's say, that to $300,000, another $300,000, versus paying off $100,000 of a mortgage, what makes more sense? What's easier to do? What's probably more attainable?
It's definitely more attainable to say, I'm going to put some extra money towards the mortgage, and also that really becomes forced savings, right? Because you're putting money towards something you don't have to pay later. And she absolutely has the ability to do that because she's contributing to her 403B. So taking some extra of that, moving it over.
Well, let's take this even further if we can. So in this case, if Joan had that mortgage of $1,000 a month, we know that she needed capital previously. If she needed $1,600 a month of income, she needed $525,000 in capital. If she needed another $300,000 to support that $1,000 a month mortgage payment that we created for her just now